Paul, why you're a doctor of psychiatry?
Well, see, this is important to clarify. I'm board certified in psychiatry and nutrition. When you go to medical school, you go to medical school. Everybody goes to the same medical school. So there's no real doctor of psychiatry or doctor of something else. Then after medical school, you do a residency in a chosen field. So I did my residency in psychiatry because I was interested in mental health and the connection between mood disorders and neuroinflammation. But pretty quickly, I realized that the whole notion of specialties in medicine is kind of a farce because it allows us to have these pieces of the pie. It allows us to silo ourselves as physicians by specialty and say, I'm in psychiatry. I don't have to worry about this guy's diabetes or his insulin resistance, which to me is all bullshit because it's all connected. And we know that like insulin resistance or metabolic dysfunction, these are essentially synonyms, will affect mood, and neuroinflammation can come from inflammation in the gut. So it's like, as a physician, if I want to be able to understand the root of an illness, I need to understand gastroenterology and dermatology and endocrinology and cardiology and vascular things. And so I've really not, I hate the designations like this. And people usually like to say, like, you're a psychiatrist, what the hell do you know about nutrition? To which I give them the middle finger and say, oh, fuck you, you know? But I think that, like, in terms of thinking, I think of myself as a physician and a student of life, and I certainly am intrigued by mental health, and I think it's a huge burden for us as humans, and it's a reflection of the same problems that are connected with heart disease and dementia and strokes and autoimmunity and all these other chronic diseases, diabetes and obesity. So, yeah.
There's people, I don't know if you're familiar with Thomas Sowell. He's an economist from the Hoover Institute, 90 years old guy. Anyway, he's an economist, and he has a ton to say about families and upbringing kids. And it's funny because anytime anyone would say, well, he's an economist, but it relates so. I almost respect people more who master one field and then look back at another field, because they can bring so much because they're not stuck looking through that funnel.
Yeah, I mean, this is just appeals to authority that are used by people who don't like the fact that they can't debunk your arguments with any real science, so they try to railroad you or erode your credentials, when in fact you show me the physician, the classically trained physician that gets any training in nutrition or biochemistry beyond rudimentary stuff in the Krebs cycle in medical school. It's all based on the assumption that, oh, you're not a gastroenterologist, how can you talk about GI stuff? Well, that gastroenterologist didn't get any training about the way that, about nutrition and the connections between nutrition and the gut. And that cardiologist got essentially no training about nutrition. And that obesity surgeon got no training about nutrition. So it's all based on these really faulty assumptions, and people they use it incorrectly. It's like, hey, I'm a human. I happened to go to medical school a couple times. I went to PA school. I worked in cardiology. I went to medical school, did a residency in this, got board certified in nutrition afterwards, and now just trying to contribute valuable ideas and connect the dots where people haven't done that previously.